Being the Augusta guy means that you're getting myself and my staff, which was raised on the same values that fellow Augustans were raised on. All of us grew up here. If you are hiring somebody from out of town, they may not be as connected as us. I guarantee you that we are going to work extremely hard for you. You're getting somebody who's going to shoot you straight and tell you the pros and cons of your case, and also take the case as far as it needs to go to get what people deserve.
Hey kids, we want...
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert. You're watching News 12 live at 5. Continues.
Another school district is considering a year-round school calendar. We're breaking down how parents can share their thoughts just ahead. But first, it's what everyone is talking about. It feels like temperatures are getting colder and colder. Thanks, Riley. Following in the footsteps of Aiken and Edgefield counties, the Richmond County school system is now considering moving to a modified year-round schedule. Now, this could shrink summer break from 10 weeks to 7.5 weeks, but create more breaks throughout the school year itself. Our Craig Allison is live for us in the newsroom. And Craig, what do parents need to know so that they can weigh in on this possible change?
Well, the school system wants to hear from parents at home and have a survey out now. The deadline to respond is February 15th, but the board doesn't have to take action right away. If the board did take on the new year-round model to start in the fall of 2025, they would need to make a decision within this year, by the end of 2024. One unique aspect to this calendar is what the school board calls a intercession for intervention and enrichment. It's a long title, but basically it's an extra 5 days of school inside 2 10-day break periods for students to take on more learning so that they don't get surprised by bad grades at the end of the year.
The staff and the teachers in those schools can identify those students who may be needing to do that. So one of the jokes that was made last night was from Dr. Cobb was, if you're going to give somebody a 10-day time off period, but 5 of those days are going to be spent in school, she was told that a lot of the students tend to do well before that 10-day period, so that they get the full 10 days off and they're not having to try to go into that immersive learning.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We'll also hear from a parent in the Richmond County school systems and how they decided to vote on that poll.
And Richmond County Schools wants to hear more from parents and just about how this possible change is going to look. By going to our website, wrdw.com, you can find the link to the district survey to hear your thoughts. It breaks down in detail the differences between the two schedules and how break times would be affected. Again, you can head to our website, wrdw.com, to find that survey and learn more about that. Well, the search continues tonight for a man accused of attempted murder. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office says Matthew Fields ran from deputies yesterday after they showed up at a home on Monarch Street. If you know anything that could help in the search, you can call the Aiken County Sheriff's Office. The Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office is confirming that human remains found in Holly Hill belong to 49-year-old Melissa Aguilar. She was reported missing in August. Now her family is filing a formal complaint claiming there is a lack of transparency and communication throughout this investigation. The family claims that even after investigators went to the scene and recovered those remains, they did not do a good job. The family says they found more bones, including a jawbone they say they knew belonged to Melissa.
We've been screaming this to Orangeburg the moment we saw her smile. It wasn't relief. It was, I told you so. Not only did we get lack of communication, but they can't communicate with each other.
The Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office is denying responsibility and providing no answers as to how investigators missed those remains.
How those remains was left out there, I can't answer that today. Now, I'm not saying it was responsibility of the coroner. I'm saying the coroner collected the remains that were there.
So whose responsibility was it?
Well, I'll let you take that from what I said. The coroner collected the remains that were there.
The Sheriff's Office says they're still working out Melissa's manner of death, but that they do not have a person of interest and are combing through evidence there. Well, right now, hospitals are closing across Georgia, creating healthcare deserts, especially in rural areas. Our State House reporter Abby Kasoris breaks down how a new program could start cash flowing fast to get help for hospitals.
Georgia ranks third in the nation for the number of hospital closures. Since 2010, 9 rural hospitals closed, leaving more than a quarter of Georgians without critical services.
I want to welcome everybody and thank you for being here on this cold day to hear
Jason
about
Bearden, president for CareSource, a nonprofit working in the healthcare space, announcing they are creating the CareSource Rural Access Advancement Program, which can provide emergency funding to rural hospitals.
And rural hospitals are at the heart of the Georgia economy, and they need our support.
Infusing $5 million across the state to specifically help rural hospitals like Taylor Regional Hospital in Hawkinsville, Georgia. CEO Jonathan Green says it's a cash flow crutch.
Our rural towns die without a hospital.
According to the National Library of Medicine, when a rural hospital closes, travel time to care increases by about 30 minutes. The economy takes a hit and mortality rates rise. Senator Larry Walker represents several counties in middle Georgia with 5 total hospitals, including Taylor Regional.
The industry does not want to locate in an area that doesn't have good health care, so these hospitals provide us with quality care and access for folks in rural Georgia.
CareSource is creating an advisory board which will help set the guidelines for which hospitals will qualify, how they can access the funds, and how long they will have to pay the money back. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
This winter weather can cause some real headaches, especially when it comes to driving. Just ahead, we'll share what to do and what to avoid when it comes to your car. Riley?
Temperatures getting cold again tonight, down into the teens in a few spots, and we could get colder by this weekend. We'll have that full forecast next.
As the cold winter snap continues, pipes aren't the only thing that freeze. Your HVAC systems can too. And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, as temps drop lower, we're giving you details to how you can prepare to keep your home warm and systems from freezing up.
There is some warmer weather on the horizon.
All right, thanks, Riley. Some of our vehicles might be having a hard time with this colder weather, from defrosting it.
Let's face it, we're probably not checking our cars like we should.
And we have a digital checklist.
Aaron Clements sees cars inside his shop daily, and this time of the year is no different.
Wintertime, one of the big things people want checked very closely is the antifreeze.
There's a lot to inspect, so we brought our car in to check it all out.
One of the worst case scenarios is if the coolant freezes inside your engine, it expands and it can crack the block and it'll turn a very expensive engine into a boat anchor. So you don't want the coolant to freeze, so make sure the antifreeze is in good shape.
Next, we moved on to the car battery.
A lot of cars get towed in the wintertime because of the battery. A battery that's marginal in the fall can be completely bad in the wintertime.
The battery loses about 20% of its energy during the winter. And looking at our battery,
there's a high probability that before the winter's over, in the colder weather, this battery will more than likely fail.
So after I failed my battery inspection, we then moved on to the tires.
The tires, just looking at the outside, making sure there's no cracking on the outside. The tires are 4 or more years old. They start getting a little suspect, so I'd look a little closer for any cracking. And then we like to look at the tread, make sure there's no unusual wear.
He showed me a trick to check your tires with.
And it's a lot easier than you might think. All you need is just a penny. So what you'll want to do is you'll take the penny, stick it onto the tire right here, and it's kind of hard to see out here, but the key thing to know is if you can see the top of Lincoln's head, then you're due for an inspection.
Well, at least I can say I passed this inspection.
There's no doubt that tires are a safety feature, so you want, and not to mention you don't want to have a flat tire in the wintertime either. That would not be good.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea to check everything from the tires to the battery to the car itself. In Augusta, Sydney Hood, on your side.
And it might feel counterintuitive, but a trip to the mechanic could save your wallet. A recap of everything Sydney explained is on our website, Wrdw.com. You can also find more guides on how to protect your vehicle, your home, pipes, and more from these freezing temperatures.
CES may be over, but there's still lots to talk about. I'm Jamie Tucker. Coming up, some of the best, or at least the most unusual gadgets I saw this year.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Wrdw.com. Click, click.
Well, thousands of products had their debut during CES last week, and now that the event is over, our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker is going over some of the best things that he saw.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
Well, answering the question, what's the coolest thing I saw at CES this year is nearly impossible to answer because CES is overwhelming, and I saw hundreds of products worthy of talking about. These are some of the most unforgettable.
Hyundai's Movis is a car with four wheels that all turn 90 degrees, enabling the vehicle to go sideways into a parking spot and make once impossible turns.
We'll get you a hot towel.
Oh yeah, the Keenray is a towel warmer for the home.
Before you get in the shower, you throw your towel in here, turn this thing on. By the time you're done, you pull it out, and your towel's nice and warm.
It's around $150. Clicks is an iPhone case for those who missed their old BlackBerry phone and want more screen real estate.
Got your keyboard up, you lose half of your screen. So as soon as you pop your phone into Clicks, it recognizes that there's a keyboard present, and now you get all of your screen for your chats.
It's $140. AWOL Vision is a hideaway screen and projector. Once you finish watching, a button rolls the screen back to the floor. And Visor advertises itself as drug-free microdosing. Flashing lights over your closed eyes is said to give users a psychedelic feeling. Some describe it similar to LSD and mushrooms.
So the visuals that are created, the kaleidoscopic visuals, people have described it as being similar to high-dose psychedelic. Again, just like a massage, just like a brain massage. And you see a lot of different patterns. Exactly. It's very kaleidoscope-like.
Some of these gadgets are already for sale. Others will be on sale later this year in time for Christmas. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
CES reports 135,000 people attended the week-long event, which is close to pre-pandemic numbers. Well, Georgia native Coco Gauff.
Welcome back, folks. Live look for our Beach Island camera. Beautiful look just after sunset here. We have a few clouds filtering through, just lighting up the sky and showing us that it is going to be a cold night. Temperatures right now already down to 40 degrees. You can see those dew points as low as 12, so that's potentially as low as our temperatures can go tonight. We do have high pressure moving in from the west, so that's going to be centered over the region, just bringing us generally clear skies and pretty calm winds the rest of tonight. Already down to 38 in Edgefield, 39 in Washington. That was a cold spot earlier this morning. Barnwell, you're at 37, in Allendale as well, hitting the upper 30s. Out at the bus stop tomorrow morning, it is going to be cold, folks. Make sure the kiddos have plenty of layers out there. We're going to see those temperatures within a few degrees of 20, and I'm thinking it's going to be on the sub side of 20. Later tomorrow afternoon, though, we should be able to see highs at least into the 50s, so a little bit warmer before even colder weather does show up this weekend. And before that happens, it's going to be a windy Friday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.